They say the greatest treasure ever guarded was never made of gold. When the Knights Templar fell, their riches vanished, as if swallowed by the earth itself. Some say they hid it in the vaults beneath Jerusalem. Others whisper it crossed the seas to Scotland, or to the edge of the known world. But perhaps the real secret was not buried in stone. Perhaps it was hidden in the human soul. This is the story of the lost treasure of the Knights Templar, truth or eternal myth. The rise of the poor Knights of Christ. In the year 1119, on a dusty road in Jerusalem, 9 knights took an oath that would echo through the ages. They called themselves the poor fellow soldiers of Christ and of the Temple of Solomon. Their mission seemed humble: protect Christian pilgrims journeying to the Holy Land. But their discipline, their secrecy, and their faith would transform them into one of the most powerful orders in human history. Within a century, the Knights Templar had become warrior monks, fighting in the Crusades, defending fortresses from Spain to Syria, and building a network of wealth and influence that stretched across Europe. They answered only to the Pope. They lent money to kings. They owned entire fleets of ships. And they established one of the first international banking systems, long before the word bank even existed. Pilgrims could deposit wealth in Paris and withdraw it in Jerusalem using secret codes and ledgers, a revolutionary system that made the Templars both respected and feared. The order became too powerful, and power, in the Middle Ages, was a dangerous thing. The fall of the order. In the early 1300s, Europe was changing. The Crusades had failed. Faith was faltering. And one man, King Philip IV of France, found himself in desperate debt. He owed the Templars more gold than he could ever repay. So he chose another path: destruction. On Friday, October 13th, 1307, under cover of night, the king's soldiers swept through Templar properties across France. Knights were dragged from their beds, chained, and interrogated. Under torture, many confessed to heresy, to spitting on the cross, to secret rites, to worshipping false idols. Whether those confessions were true or forced, history may never know. But what's certain is this: the Templar fortune was gone. Philip expected to find vaults overflowing with treasure, yet what he found was nothing. The order's gold, relics, and records had vanished, as if spirited away before his soldiers arrived. And so the legend began. The vanishing treasure. Where did the Templar treasure go? Did it ever exist in the way people imagine? Mountains of gold, sacred relics, priceless relics of faith? Or was it something more elusive? A legacy of knowledge? When the arrests began, it's said that a small fleet of Templar ships slipped quietly out of the French port of La Rochelle. Their cargo, unknown. Their destination, lost to time. From there, the theories diverge like rivers feeding a myth. Some say the ships sailed to Scotland, finding refuge under King Robert the Bruce, himself excommunicated by Rome. There, the Templars may have joined in the shadows of Bannockburn, helping the Scots win their independence in exchange for sanctuary. Others claim they fled to Portugal, where the Order of Christ, founded soon after the Templars' fall, continued their work under a new name. And from that lineage, a young navigator named Prince Henry the Navigator would later guide Portugal's age of discovery. The treasure, in this telling, became not gold, but knowledge, maps, charts, and wisdom carried across oceans. The secret of the Temple Mount. To understand the deeper mystery, we must return to where the story began, the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. When the first Templars were granted quarters there in the 12th century, they made their home atop the ruins of the ancient Temple of Solomon. It's said they spent 9 years digging beneath the site. No one knows what they found. Later chronicles, and some modern archaeologists, hint that the knights may have uncovered relics from the biblical past, sacred vessels, fragments of scripture, perhaps even the Ark of the Covenant itself. It was this supposed discovery, legend says, that gave the Templars their mysterious power. and perhaps their most dangerous secret. If true, they possessed not only earthly wealth, but divine proof of the stories that built civilization. If false, the legend still served them well, cloaking the order in an aura of mystique that no sword could cut through. The Lost Fleet and the Atlantic Legend. In the centuries that followed, whispers of the Templar fleet grew louder. There were tales of ships sailing west, beyond the known world, long before Columbus. Maps from the 14th century show strange symbols, red crosses, cryptic coastlines, and islands that shouldn't exist. Could the Templars have reached the shores of America centuries early? Some point to Oak Island, off the coast of Nova Scotia, where tunnels and stone markers bear mysterious carvings, and where modern treasure hunters still dig today. No one has found gold there, but they have found traces, old wood, medieval tools, and carved stones that shouldn't belong to that land or that time. Coincidence? Perhaps. But like all good myths, the Templar treasure refuses to rest in certainty. The treasure that wasn't gold. There's another theory, one far less material and far more profound, that the treasure of the Templars was not physical at all. According to this idea, the treasure was knowledge, ancient wisdom preserved through symbols, geometry, and architecture. Evidence of this lies scattered through cathedrals, stone crosses, and sacred geometry that mirrors both faith and mathematics. The Chartres Cathedral in France, for instance, was funded and protected by the Templars. Its stained glass hides patterns of perfect proportion, the same ratios found in nature, the same patterns that ancient mystics saw as reflections of divine order. Some believe the Templars inherited esoteric truths from the Gnostics, or even from Jewish and Islamic scholars they met in Jerusalem. Truths about God not as a king or judge, but as a living presence within all things. To guard that truth from persecution, that may have been their real mission. If so, their treasure was not something to be spent or stolen. It was a code, a sacred inheritance buried in architecture, art, and the human spirit. Rosslyn and the Bloodline Myth. Among all rumored hiding places, none carries more mystique than Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland. Built in the 15th century by the Sinclair family, known Templar sympathizers, it is adorned with carvings so intricate they seem to whisper across centuries. Angels, vines, stars, and crosses cover every surface. Hidden among them are symbols of both Christianity and ancient paganism. Some claim these carvings include depictions of corn and aloe plants native to the Americas, carved decades before Columbus set sail. If true, Rosslyn could hold proof of a Templar voyage across the Atlantic. Others go further still, claiming that Rosslyn guards the bloodline of Christ himself, carried by the Templars after they uncovered the truth beneath the Temple Mount. It's a romantic vision, and one that inspired centuries of secret society lore, from the Freemasons to the Da Vinci Code. Whether truth or fiction, it shows how the Templar myth evolved, from history into a mirror of humanity's deepest desires. To find the lost, to uncover the sacred, to be part of something eternal. The legacy in plain sight. Even after their official end, the Templar spirit never truly disappeared. In Portugal, they became the Order of Christ, a new brotherhood carrying the old mission under papal blessing. It was these knights who sponsored voyages of discovery, spreading the cross across the world's oceans. In Freemasonry, echoes of Templar ritual, geometry, and symbolism reappear. The compass, the square, the secret initiation. Whether by inheritance or imitation, their ideals of faith, discipline, and enlightenment were reborn in new forms. And through art, architecture, and story, the Templars achieved what few orders ever could: immortality. Their fall was the end of one age, and the seed of another. Truth, myth, and the human need for mystery. Why does the story of the Templar treasure still haunt us? Because it touches something older than religion, older than gold. The dream that there is always something hidden, a truth waiting just beyond reach. Every civilization creates such myths. The Greeks had Atlantis, the Egyptians had the Book of Thoth, and in our age, the Templars are our mirror, noble seekers undone by power, hiding a truth the world was not ready to face. Perhaps that's why we keep searching, not for coins or relics, but for meaning. The idea that wisdom might survive corruption, that faith might endure even when its keepers fall. In this sense, the treasure is not buried in earth or stone, but in the questions we still ask. The eternal treasure. What if the Templars' true legacy was never meant to be found, but remembered? They built cathedrals that still stand 1,000 years later. They carried knowledge across cultures and oceans, and they left behind a story powerful enough to outlive empires. The treasure may have been lost, but the idea of it became something greater. A reminder that truth and mystery are not opposites, but companions. That in every age, humanity seeks what cannot be owned, the sacred, the eternal, the unseen. And so, the legend endures, not because of the gold, or the grail, or the vaults beneath Rosslyn, but because of what it reveals about us. We still long to believe that somewhere, hidden in the shadows of history, lies a key, not to the riches of the world, but to the secret of being human. The treasure was never lost. We've just forgotten where to look. If you found this story fascinating, like, share, and subscribe to Timeless Questions channel, where we explore the civilizations, ideas, and mysteries that shaped humanity.